Hello, everybody. Welcome to Jam and Chat number 26. We're on a roll today. This is our fourth continuing session. We're going to have a lot of content. It's going to be great. So, Eric had a question for Craig. We're going to go ahead and just re-ask the question. So then that way, Craig can answer it for everybody in this episode in case they weren't watching the last one. How does that sound?
Yeah, Craig, how can you tell the difference between, sort of holistic things that might be helpful versus ones that maybe aren't really based in any sort of scientific factual principles or whatever?
I would say test them out for yourself. You would never want to believe anything. You would just have to put the dedication and effort into testing for yourself and then seeing what happens. And then you could be an authority on it, maybe. if
Well,
you
like I
dared
have
to
some
be,
friends that are really into the astrological signs and all that. I mean, how much weight do you place on that?
I would say mathematically, I like Vedic astrology personally because that was the first sort of basis of it. But I wouldn't say that any future is certain. I would say that you would have to experience the present moment and move from there. I mean, we're all here to learn a lot of lessons, and
Like
so you would have to
acupuncture, how do you
test
feel
them.
about acupuncture?
I love acupuncture because acupuncture actually is an energetic science. A lot of hatha yoga, which is called hatha yoga, which is only about 1,000 years old. People are interested in that because it's really kind of a new science. The first ascetic yogis thought the body was actually, sort of this barrier to finding something deeper than the person. They actually, the translations I read, they called it a bag of filth.
A bag of what?
And then, yeah, bag of filth. And then eventually, hatha yogis realized that the body and mind are connected. So if you're feeling like pain in the body or something happens to your body, you're going to think about it. And yoga is a lot about like, is that true? That's the first thing you got to see. Is that true? There's something wrong with my body. Am I thinking about it a lot? So you have to see if that's true. And then you have to see if you can shift your consciousness or awareness on something deeper than trying to figure out conceptually what's wrong with the body. Why is this happening? Who's to blame? And how can I fix it? Which is what the mind usually does. And then you can see that you could just experience whatever is happening in your body in the present moment as a feeling, as knowing it, seeing it in a deeper way. And once you do that, you can't go back. It's called backsliding in yoga. You can't really backslide because once you have a direct experience with something, that's the ultimate wisdom. If somebody's telling you something and you just believe it, that's a ridiculous notion in yogic science. You have to actually do it, see for yourself what happens, and then you move on from there.
Let me give
And
a
that's what
practical
I love
example.
about it.
Let me give a quick practical example. So follow me. I read somewhere that drinking warm lemon water in the morning before I had coffee would make me feel better because scientifically it would, go into my liver, and the warm and the lemon is going to cause my liver to clean itself out. And then when I drink my coffee afterwards, I won't get the sour stomach because that sour stomach is actually really the liver. So anyway, I was like, okay, all this scientific, so try it, right? So I did it. And I made myself warm lemon water, and then I drank my coffee, and then I didn't notice any. And I drink cold brew, so it's already mildly discomforting. But I really meditated, and I did not notice any discomfort. And then I was like, well, maybe there's just placebo, right? So I started doing that every day, and then then on days when I didn't do it, I would just go straight to my coffee. Then I would notice that my stomach didn't feel good. And especially if I drank 2 to 3 cups of the cold brew with water in between, I would start to get sour stomach. I'd start to feel hungry, and my liver, I would really meditate and feel that it wasn't my stomach, it was my liver on the other side that was uncomfortable. So that's an example of using yogic science, because I didn't like promise, oh, I'm going to do this every day by a rule or something out of belief. I tried it intentionally, I noticed the effects, and then I also accidentally didn't try it, but then I made a point to notice the effects, and therefore I learned.
Exactly, and
Self-awareness.
that's what.
Self-awareness, kind of.
Well, it's even meditation, just allowing whatever mood to be there. Like you're not trying to change it into, it's called Jittanupassana, but you're not trying to change your mood or anything, but you're just noticing whatever your mood is, and all emotions always change. And then, so a teacher will tell you that all emotions are constantly changing if you inquire, if you're skillful with your meditation, but you don't know anything other than the conceptual unless you do it. You know what I mean? And so then you do notice. You notice that all emotions move through. You could resist them, which is what most people do, or try to figure them out conceptually. And so then you work with that. And it's exactly what Matthew said. Not only, is the lemon water helping his body, and he's noticing the difference, you can do that with anything, emotions, thoughts, this body, and then you start to see you're not really this body. You're just kind of getting feedback from this body.
And that's
But
why
you're
this is
actually,
not religious discussion. See, that's
it
why
has
this
nothing
is
to do with
allowed
religion.
on the channel. That's why it's allowed, because there's no well, we think that Kali is better than
No,
Jesus or some
I
bullshit.
hate
You
no
know,
religion. It
they're
has
not
nothing to
Well,
do
have
God.
with
you ever
theology.
heard Jim
It's too simple
Carrey's?
to be a theology.
Right.
Have you ever heard Jim Carrey's sort of philosophical?
I think Jim Carrey listened. One of his teachers is Eckhart Tolle, which I love.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's an amazing teacher.
I'm grabbing water. Keep
And
going.
and so Jim Carrey always thought. I heard him talk about it. He always thought that when he became famous, he would be happy. And so he actually ended up being a Hollywood elite and doing all these great things and even getting awards. And even at one point, if I remember right, he talked about, you know, getting an award that was really spectacular. And he got home to his hotel room and he realized, wait a minute, I'm still the same. I still have pain and suffering in certain ways. Even though I made it to the pinnacle of what Hollywood said was great, I don't feel any different. And in that moment, I think was one of his greatest. I've been teaching for a while, and I know when people have these, what Oprah calls an aha moment,
Yep.
where he was just like, wait a minute, nothing really changed, even though I make as much money as I want, and I'm as famous as I want, and I've worked my whole life for this. I still have Jim Carrey problems. And so he had to search for something deeper, which is called tapas, which is what we're talking about. The obstacles are the path. We see that fulfillment wasn't in becoming famous in any way. Fulfillment is in enjoying the present moment for what it is. And so I
Tapas,
think
like
any
the
great
Spanish
teacher points to that.
appetizer.
Exactly. That's funny. I love that. Yeah, exactly. Not the appetizer. Tapas means to burn it down to grow new. And you're not going to, if you're in a human body, it's unavoidable. You're going to have to do it many times.
Like
That's
Jim
why we're
Carrey
so brave to
says.
be here.
Yeah, Jim Carrey says, like, that this thing we see here, this form that we take, that he feels like it's his, like, sort of job to use this body we were given to like do everything and see everything and experience everything, but that it, yeah, the same type of, like, he's weirdly spiritual for an oddball. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he was
Yeah.
forced into it. He suffered tremendously as a young person, thinking I have to achieve something in the future to be fulfilled. And so I think he's one of the greatest examples of what any teaching that points to the present moment. I don't care if it's yoga, I don't care if it's Buddhism, whatever it is, it doesn't matter as long as the teaching is skillful. That's all I care about. If it points you with a direct experience to the truth, then I'm happy about it. If it's some belief that I'm going to be something in the future, then I would probably look to something deeper.
Did you
But
ever
that,
see his paintings? Did you see Jim Carrey's paintings?
yeah, many of them. Yeah, he's a
They're
great
good,
artist.
right?
He's a great artist. He's one of my favorite artists right now.
He's really giving Trump a hard time. I like that.
Remember, I stay neutral online because I want to love everybody, but I think he's a great artist. Let's put it that way.
Well, do you love Hitler? Do you love Hitler?
That's why I have so much respect for you, Eric, honestly, because
Thanks.
no, seriously, like you're going to fight for what you feel is the right thing. And that's probably always been in you since you were a child. You're a warrior, in my opinion. And
I
then
guess.
plus you fight to play guitar.
Well,
You know, it's not easy to learn guitar, and I just respect that so much,
why
man.
don't you tell Craig? I know you've told the show a couple of times, just real briefly about yourself, because I know, you know, you've been having your own business since I've known you. I have never known you to work for anyone else, and that was an
Right.
inspiration to me. Because I wanted to be like that, and I still, I'm almost there, not quite
Yeah.
there yet.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I got back from the Gulf War, and I we lost a few guys over there. The Khobar Towers terrorist attack. You can look it up online, and everybody was talking about being the .com billionaire or something, right? You remember that era, the late '90s? Everybody was like, "Oh, we got to be a .com billionaire." So I started a little website, and that's when just I happened to meet up with the billionaire founder of YouTube before, 6 years before he started YouTube, and he asked me for an idea for a website because he knew I had had some success with mine. And I gave him this whole idea for a video sharing website right off the top of my head called YouTube. And he promised me 1% if it worked out. Now it's a $160 billion company. I wrote a little free ebook about it. It's also available for sale at Amazon, but I don't take any proceeds from it. I just think it's important to show people like the real story about how YouTube really started. And then, but it helped me realize what my true calling is. I guess it turns out I'm pretty good at helping people start internet businesses. Case in point, I helped Chad start YouTube. So that's what this bucket is. It's basically, it just helps people. Either if like Matt, you were already giving guitar lessons and saxophone lessons and voice lessons, but it's just another way to promote whatever kind of products and services you can possibly provide, for whatever kind of an affordable but fair, price that you can. And it's completely free. And the objective is really just I finally figured out what my true calling is, and helping people start their internet businesses like I helped Chad start YouTube. So let me just see if I can spread that out throughout the world and help everybody either start a new business online or maybe grow their business online, like what you're doing, Matt. Like Craig, there'd be no harm in you, maybe putting yourself out there on Bucket as well, just for an additional
Definitely.
way
Oh,
to,
yeah, I'll check it out for sure.
and then,
It's
and then
sort of like
I'll help
Fiverr.
you.
It's
Yeah, it's like
it's
Fiverr.
it's like Fiverr. That's kind of the
Mm-hmm.
idea. So like you go on there to purchase and offer creative services, online services, whatever you can think of.
You can
Um,
do products too. You can do products.
yeah, and you can look up what other people are doing on there, and you get ideas.
Yeah.
Cool.
It's got millions of members. It's growing pretty big, but since I'm basically offering it as a free service, that basically, we'll see where it goes. But I'm excited about it.
Cool. Who wants to
It's one of the
jam on some
fastest growing
Hendrix?
things out there right now. I mean, this gig
Hendrix,
economy thing, it's real. You know what I mean? The gig
yeah,
economy.
it is
Yeah.
real.
Oh, man. I actually have already been to that website, and I just got to do it now. I've already looked at it,
Yeah,
and I
there's
think
no harm in it.
it's
I'll
such
send
a
you a friend
great
request
idea,
as
man.
well.
It's an amazing
It's
idea.
Well, it's like Facebook, right? Except instead of just posting like, look what I had for dinner, or what do people post? I don't know, like nonsense. You can post like, hey, look what I can do for you. I can teach you some, yoga, or, help you with some sort of spiritual journey that you might be on or something. I'm not going to pretend to understand. I've always sort of lacked understanding of what you do, Craig. That's why I was curious.
It's not even really understanding. You just want to look into it. You know, you got to
Yeah.
have the motivation to look into it eventually. Maybe it would happen. Yeah, maybe you haven't suffered enough.
No, I mean, well, look, let's see. I've been in a war, right? So that's a tough
Yeah.
one.
Yeah.
Um,
Actually, meditation really helps with PTSD. As far as
that'd be
if you
cool.
wanted to look at the science of meditation, we actually have pretty good proven effects with PTSD. I've worked with some veterans, and like I said, I have the utmost respect, and that's why I just love working with veterans because
Yeah.
it's an amazing thing when they can work with PTSD if that happens to be what psychologically is happening, but at least see deeper than the mind and understand that in the present moment you're safe. And there are a lot of veterans. This is one cause that I'm really big about is that are committing suicide. And I hate that. Oh gosh, I
Yeah.
wish I could help more with that whenever I hear about that, because it's hard to go from some some way of thinking which was told to you that you should do this and this is it, and plus you have a motivation to do that in the first place, which is amazing. It's the warrior spirit which was needed on this earth, in my opinion. But then you come back to civilian life and it's a totally different thing. Civilians don't understand what you went through. I've never been in war. I've never been a veteran, so I don't know what you've been through.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you know
And
what's really
so
funny, Craig, is Matt, you didn't even know I was probably in the military before we met, right?
I picked up on it eventually,
I
but
mean, I
yeah,
didn't talk about it. I didn't talk
not
about it in
much.
college,
Mm-mm.
So, I
you
mean,
know?
if any type of meditation can help relieve that suffering, like I have one friend who is a veteran, and when he hears certain helicopters, what's amazing about him is he can tell you exactly what kind of helicopter it is, which
Right,
that's like mastery of being a warrior. And
right.
then but he would also tell me that it brings a certain amount of energy or an emotion arises just in hearing the helicopter chopper sound.
Mm-hmm.
And, if we can help in that moment to use a meditation technique to move to the breath, there's a lot of meditation technology you could use for that particular situation. To me, that's amazing rather than suffering with some old emotion because you sacrificed a part of yourself for that cause. And that's
So
what I'm
you
all
can, so
about.
yeah, you can put yoga instruction online for now, and then in person, and then you could
There's a lot
also,
of videos online at New World Wellness on YouTube for sure. Check them out.
right. And then
Yeah.
also you could do maybe you could do something philanthropic with the helping veterans with PTSD or something.
I always love to help. I'm available for privates, and I do a lot of privates and private meditation. And
Yeah.
actually, that's what's amazing about the Zoom thing, because I was really stuck locally where I was.
Mm-hmm.
And now with this technology, it kind of opens me up to everybody. And to me, I always sort of resisted it because I felt like I had to be there to be effective. But what I'm finding is actually working with it more and more that I don't like I can still get the same feelings or notions, or I can work with people online. So and I also do hypnosis, which is very much a mind thing, rather than
Isn't
something.
isn't there anybody that ever gets hypnotized and go, "No, I'm not a chicken."
You know, the funny
That's
thing is, dude. I mean, and like, I don't want you to misunderstand me, okay? Because I'm already um, uh, working on practicing my empathy, and that's one of the things that's good about doing this online is because I'm actually I'm connecting to everybody's energy and feeling everybody's emotions, and that's helping to guide me to lead to host the show. Well, I'm just a baby, man. Craig is like so intuitive, man. This guy, I'm not trying to build him up, okay? I'm just saying it's kind of like when when before Neo goes to the Oracle, right? He's like, so what? She knows everything. It's like she knows more than you can imagine. It's sort of kind of on that vibe because he just picks up on people's energy. Like I don't know, he's very very intuitive.
I can
It's,
see that. I can
good.
sense that as a holy man.
It's an incredible blessing to have you on this channel. Thank you so much for
Oh
bringing
man.
the wisdom and peace of the East to from New World Wellness all the way to Matthew's Music Lesson Studio. Thank you so much.
Oh man, I love
Yeah,
being.
Craig, we're gonna all join your cult, and Matt, we're gonna start the most successful, not boy band. We're gonna have a man band,
I'll be the
and then
cart bard, the cult bard.
of course everybody in the world will be working on Bucket.
That's awesome. I love that. That's a new. That really truly is a new world.
So
It's where we're headed, I think. I think everybody's gonna have to start working online more.
Yeah, definitely.
so
I mean, Bucket's doubled in business.
good,
You know.
dude.
Good.
When the whole COVID thing happened to me, I was renting my motorhome as my main source of income personally, and we were paying rent in this house, and I was teaching music lessons in person. But I mean, I only had a total of about 10 to 20 students that I had total, like, and they weren't all like actively coming. I only had like maybe 2 or 3 that were actively coming regularly. So closing the physical location wasn't really the issue. And, I had the place to go, but the problem is around here, like, the motorhome parks are all about tourism and they're not friendly to living there. And so I had to move like a good hour and a half away. My wife now has to drive an hour every day to work, and my brother in law got a new job after being laid off. They were both laid off. My wife went back to work at the same place, but my brother in law had to go to a new job, and he has to drive 2 hours each way. We're way out in the forest, and it's
Wow.
Do
near
you
the
have to?
coast.
Does a Matt poop in the woods?
It's gorgeous here. I love it. But I'm just saying, there's always two sides to everything, and
Yeah. Exactly.
I don't actually poop in the woods.
Tell Becky
Um,
I miss her too. I love Becky.
yep, she's but now my opportunity has been thrust upon me to force me to find a way to make money online because my daughter's not in school. Somebody's got to be here, take care of the house, and yet I still need an income. I still need a job and a function in society. And so I couldn't just start doing online music lessons because I didn't have anybody to teach. And so the Jam and Chat was perfect because it gave me a chance to start experimenting with the platform for free, get people to come in, and then 2 of the people that participated have become my students, and I'm hoping eventually I can get more people to participate, and eventually more of them will want to do private lessons with me because they're like, wow, you're smart, I want to know more. And so, hey, $20 a half hour. You can get me on
Exactly.
bucket.com. You can get me on matthewsmusiclessonstudio.com. You can get me on songstitute.com. Same price everywhere. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Songstitute, is that like
Mm-hmm.
Bucket just for music lessons?
It's a new platform that just sprung up. I've done some promotions for them, and they're a cool little company. And I'm offering all of my lessons on there for the same price as on my own website and on your website. I just leveled it all out, so that way
Yeah.
it's not a competition. Um,
Uh-huh.
How about some Tom Petty? I'm from Gainesville. Tom Petty's from Gainesville, if you don't know.
Yeah.
And
Hey,
I just
hey, before
love
we
Tom
start though,
Petty.
Craig, what's that degree there? What is that on
Degree.
their wall? It looks like a piece of paper, a fancy piece of paper on the wall.
Oh, that's probably the hypnosis.
Oh, is that for hypnosis? Is that
Yeah,
like a certification?
it is. Yep.
Oh,
hmm
that's cool.
so, are
All right.
you at all familiar with past life regression, hypnosis, past life regression,
Who?
Eric?
Oh, I mean, I have some interesting theories, but I haven't, they don't fit into any that I'm aware of existing. I mean, they're all very scientific.
Well, that's what his hypnosis is.
I do a
You know.
lot of past life regression. I love it. I think it's amazing because you don't have to believe in anything to do it, and then you just have the experience, and then you're just like, okay. And that's what I
Well, I
love about
believe
it.
we've all had past lives, in as much as it's a scientific and statistical reality. If you believe that the universe and time and space are infinite, then anything that can happen will happen an infinite amount of times in the future and has happened an infinite amount of times in the past, including us, right?
Yeah, we're
So
definitely connected.
there's a scientific, basis to, past lives. But as far as like, being aware of them and connecting with them, I'm not sure if that's something that I've seen any evidence of.
You got to do it yourself. That's the only
Yeah.
way.
Mhm.
Yeah. So Wildflowers, you know that song? It's a Fifth Fret special.
Good.
I don't know all the words though. Then it has this bridge. You belong among the wildflowers. You belong in a boat out at sea. Sorry, sail away, fill out the hours. You belong somewhere you feel free. But sorry, I gotta figure it out. Sorry, man. You belong among the wildflowers. You belong in a boat out at sea. Sail away, kill off the hours. You belong somewhere you feel free. Run away, find you a lover. Run away somewhere all bright and new. There is no other who compares with you. You belong among the wildflowers. You belong in a boat out at sea. Sail away, kill off the hours. You belong somewhere you feel free. Run away, find you a lover. Run away. somewhere all bright and new. There is no other who compares with you.
Awesome.
You belong among the wildflowers. You belong somewhere all bright and new. Sail away, kill off the hours. You belong somewhere you feel free. That's my motto.
That's
That was
Craig,
good.
everybody.
But
Yeah.
how did the words go, Craig? Is it you belong among the wildflowers?
You
You
belong
belong
in a ship out at sea.
ship out and sea.
Sail away, kill off the hours. You belong somewhere you feel free.
Yeah,
Do you
dude. I like that
do you
song.
want to go out and be on a ship, Craig? Is that what you're telling us?
I'm actually pretty good on ships. I do enjoy the water,
Oh, do you have a
the
boat?
ocean. I don't have a boat, but I love the ocean and I've
I'm
been
on a
around boats
boat.
my whole life. I grew up on Long Island in New York, and so it's a big boat town.
Right.
So I
Boats
got
and hoes. Boats
I
and
got
hoes.
5 minutes left in this room. Is this the final room for today, or are we gonna do another room?
I can do one more. I'm having
I
fun.
think
I
I
mean, it's
think
up to
Craig
you.
is gonna introduce a new 16-hour a day format. What do you
My
think?
wife's gonna come home and nothing's gonna be done and dinner won't
Yeah,
be ready and she'll
just
be
tell her
like,
you're
"What
hanging
happened,
out with
honey?"
me, and
And
she'll know exactly what's happening.
I'll be like, "Craig happened, honey,"
Well,
and then
you
she'll
can
say,
tell
"Okay."
her that she's done it too. We've spent many nights till 4 a.m. just hanging out and chatting. Me, Chris, Becky, some of the best times of my life.
Yeah,
God,
dude.
I just enjoyed it so much. So I'll do one more
So
if you
let's
guys
see.
are up for it,
Well,
but it's up
I
to
want
you.
to I want to ask a question
We
real quick.
talked a lot during that one.
That's good. It's good. Yeah. So the question here is, when I was doing those background vocals, I know it took me a long time to figure it out, but I'm questioning the latency. Did you guys hear me sounding like I was singing close to the same time as Craig, or did I sound way later than him?
You sounded better, but there was still a little latency in my earphones.
Okay.
I got to be honest with you. I didn't know you were singing. Did you
Okay.
sing something?
I was just singing a little tiny little bit of harmony just to make
So
him.
you don't use headphones, Eric?
Mm-mm.
He's just using
Okay.
his phone.
Yeah.
That's incredible. You don't get any feedback?
I mean, I wouldn't know. What do you think?
I just went directly in from this pedal, which I don't know if it sounds good or not. It's the first
No,
time.
it
I've
sounds
ever-
great. But
Yeah.
how do I sound? I don't know.
Yeah, I can hear it, but I know it's an amp with a mic. I can tell it's an amp with a mic. And so you get the latency of even the amp to the mic. So you're dealing with double latency.
Who I am?
I think so. I don't know. What do you think, Matthew?
Well, a little bit, but you know, the more
I
we
mean, it's
do it, the
hard to
better we
tell,
get.
but yeah,
So,
exactly. But
for
I love his leads.
for the kirtan and the singing together specifically, what I'm finding out is even if you have your settings perfect, there is an app you can buy and pay a monthly subscription to significantly reduce or completely eliminate your latency. But I'm not trying to get into a monthly subscription. So really, what I'm learning how to do is kind of literally like play like over top of it, like.
Yeah, you're good at that.
I'm having to anticipate what you're going to play before you play it, so
I
that
know, it's
way
so
I
hard.
can sing it a little bit early to try to be at the same time as you.
I know.
So if
I
we're
can't
going
wait
to
to hear
do
what it sounds like when I listen to it because I don't know yet, you know. But
right,
I
well, it's
could hear
okay.
you off a little bit on the vocals. I can hear your
Can I tell
vocals.
you guys a secret that I do when I listen to videos that you make with Matt and Friends videos? I call them. I play them at 2 times their speed. We sound really good at 2 times. No. It adjusts your voice. It adjusts the instrument. It doesn't raise your voice or the instruments.
Okay, so we
It
just sound
adjusts
like
everything.
virtuosic because we're like playing these really fast changes and
Oh
shit.
yeah, we sound like we are burning up the fretboards. I'm serious. It sounds really great.
That's hilarious. Okay, well, I got under 2 minutes left, so I'm going to go ahead and close down this room. But it's okay because I'm going to go ahead. I don't even remember which room we're in right now. We've done so many of these. Okay, let's see. I don't even remember. Okay, it must be this one because the other one was selected. Okay, so I'll see everybody at the next one. Jam and Chat 27. Make sure you subscribe to this channel. Make sure you like this video. Share it with all of your friends. And do me a big favor, buddy. Leave your comments down below. If you want to be a part of this madness, leave your comment down below. There's a link to a Facebook group. You can also just click there to join. And then you can get invited. It's free, and all you got to do is be willing to be on my YouTube channel and share your talent and your antics with me and the rest of the universe. Thank you very much, everybody, and I'll see you next time on Jam and Chat.